And yeah, so good. I mean, I'll do a little bit of adjusting on that. And I can probably hide all the video. Let me stop that for a second. Let me stop, view, speaker. That's better. That way I can get rid of all of your headshots unless you're talking. So, all right, I know where I'm going now. All right, so this is class 2 of a 3-part Mastering LinkedIn as a Business Tool a program. The first 2 parts are public. The third part is a private one-on-one coaching with all members of the class. So this class, here's my talking points right here. We're talking about LinkedIn search. Save search is now gone. Boom. How to do introductions and referrals, sending invites, managing invites, engaging, sharing, engaging, and engaging directly. This is all about searching for the right people, and then once you connect with the right people, how to engage with them. So feel free to ask any questions. You can ask them in the chat box. You can ask them by unmuting yourself, and I'll answer them during this session. So part 1, search. So for those who don't know, there's LinkedIn and there's Sales Navigator. Sales Navigator, interestingly enough, I think there's 24 filters here between company, personal, role, spotlights, workflow, and content. So 24 filters is a really powerful way to dig into LinkedIn as well as your own LinkedIn network to really discover the right people. LinkedIn, on the other hand, if you go to LinkedIn search, click in the search bar and hit enter, then click on people, the filters here, besides across the top of connections, location, and current, which are the default top 3, all filters, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, roughly 15 filters in Sales Navigator. So 24 in LinkedIn, 14 in LinkedIn, 23 or 24 in Sales Navigator. However, that really just gets you to think about what tool do you want to use. By the way, look at this, 822 million. About a month ago, it was less than 812. So it's growing fast. So anyway, we're in search. Often I recommend this. Start with a term in here. I want to find a graphic designer. Start with a term that you want to look for. Okay. And if you put quotes around that, it's very clearly going to look for graphic designer, not just graphic or designer. And then when you click on people, these are the 2.2, almost 2.3 million people that are relevant or connected to me in some way or another, first level, second level, third level, relevant groups, relevant region, et cetera, et cetera. Is not looking at all 822 million. It's only LinkedIn starts with people who are relevant to me in some way or another, and that information is not clearly documented. However, start there. The next thing you want to do when you're doing a search is you want to make a decision. Do I want to look at my current network, which is 131 people, or do I want to look at second level and maybe third level? Here's my strong recommendation. Do one or the other. Do not look for first level and second and third, because the conversation with first level is significantly different than the conversation with second, and even different than the conversation with third. I often say go to second first if you're looking for new people, and then that 2.2 million is down to 19,000. Now these are new people I am not yet connected with. Then the next thing I strongly recommend is focus on a region. Don't look globally. Don't even look nationally. Drive it down to the smallest viable audience. And if I look at just in North Carolina, it's 2,300. Now, if you're serious about prospecting, that is way too big of a list, way too big. So then what I recommend you do is think about going a little deeper. Now, you can go to current company, which might be too restrictive, or go to all filters, and you can go, okay, not only location where I'm looking in North Carolina, I can get out of North Carolina if I want to, and I can look just in my local area, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, undo North Carolina, and drive that list down even more to 742. Now, again, if you're serious about prospecting, that is too big of a list. So if you want to drive it, I recommend in prospecting, you never look at a list more than 200 or 300, because you really can't work that big of a list. So let's drive it down tighter. Let's go to all filters, and then let's go to industry. So I want to look for people who maybe are in the, maybe in information technology, maybe and marketing. Question? And then show the result. So I just drove down 126. Now that is actually a workable list. That can be worked. That might take you a couple hours to work it. But again, if you're using LinkedIn or Sales Navigator search and you want to work a list of people, work might mean do research, find ways to engage with them, find ways to connect with them, et cetera, et cetera. You don't want too big of a list. By the way, another really good process that I recommend is when you're working a list, commit to a 2-hour block of time. You cannot be successful in 30 minutes, and you will wear yourself out if you do it for more than 2 hours. But for me, over the years, I found that when I got a list that I can work in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, I can be far more successful. And if you're driving your list down to a specific industry, then my conversations with people in information technology and or marketing are going to be different than they will be in the printing or farming or healthcare or medical. You want to keep your conversations the same. So pick an industry or two that are somewhat relevant, drive it down to a small list, commit to close to 2 hours of prospecting time, and you'll discover you're going to be far more successful. Now, this is all about just driving it down to something you can work. Once you got all these different filters you can use to get there, okay? Now, once you've got it to the point where you're like, man, I can work 126, let's talk about how to work this, okay? This is really important. I'm going to duplicate that so I can pull it out, because I often pull it out of the big tab. I leave it in a window by itself. Now, let's talk about how to work this. First of all, you're doing a search that you can find people that you can either engage with, your first level connected, or people that you can find a way to connect with them. So I've got my list down here. Here's what I always do. I look at the information I have right here, and I decide, is this a potential? If it is, I right click and I open a new window. And then I go through, oh, I didn't mean window, I meant tab. I right click, and I say to you, I right click and open in a new tab. Then I look at the next one, create a director to variable. Nah, maybe not. I'll look at the next one. Engagement marketer at MJ Biz. I right click, open in, I missed it. Right click on the name, open in a new tab. And I go all the way through this list, and I look at the high level information I see here. And if it's someone I think might be relevant, I open them all up. And there's 10 of them on a page. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it's 10. Yeah. So I go through all the way to the bottom. And then I decide, okay, now let's go up and look at each individual LinkedIn member. I look at the name, I look at the company, I look and see if their phone number or their email address is in here. I then look and see if I have mutual connections. That's going to be very important in a moment. I look and see who they say they are. Sometimes I read it a little bit more deeper. My favorite color is Pantone 541C. That's a great little engagement piece right there. I look and see, are they active on LinkedIn? He's commented in the last 90 days, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago. So he's at least a little active on LinkedIn. I look and see the company he's at, where he has been before, SFW, Market America, the Republic. He spelled that right. And I do my research from here. And then if I decide that this is someone I want to connect with, I do not, let me repeat, I do not hit the connect button. If I really want to connect with this person, and I think they're highly relevant to me, I am not hitting the connect button. I'm going to do one of two, or maybe both things. Number one, we got 20 mutual connections. I'll right click, open that in a new tab, go look and see who these people are. And maybe I'll ask my buddy Raymond to introduce me to Patrick, or Dina, or James, or Brittany, somebody in here who's relevant to me, who I know well. And by the way, every single one of those names I know well. Then I will reach out to them. Even Victoria, I haven't talked to in a while. And I will ask them 2 questions. Now, I might reach out to them via telephone. I might reach out to them via LinkedIn message or an email message. And I'll ask them these questions. Let me just use Victoria, open in a new tab. It's always right click, open in a new tab. And look and see how active Victoria is. She's not. I'm not going to use LinkedIn. Go back. Let's go to my buddy Raymond, because I'm pretty sure Raymond's pretty active. Right click, open in a new tab. Look at his LinkedIn profile, and there's no green circle. He's not on LinkedIn right now, but you know what? He has been active 6 days ago on LinkedIn. So he's a little more active than some people are. But check this out. I have his phone number and I have his business email address. So I'm going to make a decision of the best way for me to reach out to Raymond and ask him 2 questions before I ask for help. Listen to these words. Question number 1. By the way, a little bonding report front. Ray, how the heck are you? How's the kids? How's the wife doing? What's going on, buddy? I need your help. Question number 1. Ray, how well do you know Patrick? Question number 2. Question number 2 is, do you think Patrick is the right person for me to connect with, for me to have a conversation with him about what I do, and or connect with him on LinkedIn? Those are the 2 questions. And then I say, if so, which assumes the answer to both those questions is yes, I know him well, and he's the right person for you to connect with. If so, will you do me a big favor, Ray? Send Patrick an email, copy me on the email, and introduce me to him so I can connect with him on LinkedIn and potentially have a quick conversation with him. Now, my words will change in my call to action dependent upon my goal. But I start with, do you know him well? Do you think he's the right person for me to connect with and have a conversation with? If so, would you do me a favor, email him and introduce me to him and copy me on the message? Now I'm going to write that message in such a way that Ray can simply forward it to Patrick. That is the most powerful way to connect with your target audience on LinkedIn versus sending Patrick an invite to connect and hoping and praying. Because I do not think hope and pray are legitimate business tools. They're legitimate philosophies, but not business tools. So again, I'm going to look at Patrick. I'm going to right click on the mutual connections, figure out who I know well enough to ask for an introduction. And by the way, if Ray comes back and says, dude, I don't know you from Adam's House Cat, then I go to the next one or the next one. I find someone else that I know well who may know Patrick. And by the way, this is not a race. It may take time to do it, but it's far more rewarding to get introduced than to send an invite, again, as I said, and hope and pray. Now, once I execute on Patrick, I'll close it down. I'll do exactly the same exercise on Kelly. I'll look and see who I know that knows Kelly, and I know Eric well, so I could ask Eric for an introduction, but there's another tactic I can use. Instead of asking for an introduction, I could go and look at her activity. Go look at her activity, see what she has posted, and she hasn't posted anything in 4 months. So this might be a stretch, but I can see that she has had activity within the last week, because within the last week, since this was posted, she's commented. So I can come down here and see where she commented, nothing meaningful, but at least I know she's on LinkedIn within the last week. So I could still go back to her post, her articles, nothing, or her documents, nothing. So I can I got to go back to post. And I could come back to her post and go and say something meaningful about what she posted. Maybe I got to go back a little further, which is kind of hard to do, but you still could do it. And you can engage on her content. This is called bumping into your target audience. And it is a great way to get introduced to someone before you send them an introduction an invite to connect. Questions? Use the chat or unmute yourself and ask me any question. But anyway, it all starts right here with doing LinkedIn search and finding the right people that you want to connect with, and then looking for ways, I lost my list, and then looking for ways one at a time to get to learn a little bit more about them, discover your relevance to them, see who you know that knows them, see if there's a way for you to engage on their content before you send them an invite to connect. Again, if you just went down through your hit the connect button and just hoped and pray, that would not work. It would absolutely fail miserably. And if you send out too many LinkedIn invites that do not get acknowledged in a positive way, then you run the risk of getting your invites shut down, and you run the risk of getting your profile shut down. Show you something else you may or may not know. If I look at Allison, you'll see that she has the follow button right here. If you open that in a new tab and you look at Allison, there's no connect button because the connect button is hidden under more. So if you have connect there, follows here. If you have follow here, then connect is down here. So it's not that you can't send them an invite. And even if they're third level, if you look at people that are third level to you, you may discover there's no connect button. There might just be a message button. But again, the connect button is going to be under more. But no matter for second level or third level, I strongly encourage you, never send an invite to someone who doesn't know, at least know who you are. And the best way to get them to know who you are is to get an introduction or to engage on their content. And I just talked about introductions and referrals. I talked about introductions to get someone to introduce me to Ona. I can ask Rick Williams to do that. Someone introduced me to Taekwon. I can add up to 4, 5, 6 different people. I know Ross. I know Dave. Get introduced. Let me tell you what referrals are. Referrals are this. And I had this conversation this morning with a previous client. We weren't connected on LinkedIn. Actually, it was a student of a client. We weren't connected on LinkedIn. He sent me an invite to connect. Then I sent him a message back, which we'll talk about in a minute. And he goes, "Hey, Teddy, I was looking for you on LinkedIn. I thought we were connected, but we weren't. I know 2 people you need to know." I'm like, man, I called the dude up and I said, I'm absolutely open to and appreciate any introductions to people whom you think would be relevant to me. So the more you use LinkedIn, we'll talk more about engagement in the middle, the more you build a brand, the more opportunities to get referrals, and referrals are fabulous. Rich way to build your LinkedIn network and your businesses through referrals. So sending invites. So if I want to connect with Taekwon, and I've already got introduced to him, this is really important. And as a change coming in, I can't show you right now, but for second level, I can typically do this, add a personal note. Never, ever, ever send a LinkedIn invite without a personal note. You have to. Not only is it the LinkedIn wants you to do it, not only is it the best way to get introduced to someone when you're in, send them an invite, especially when you send them the invite, you say, "Hey, I was talking to Ray and Ray told me you and I should connect." Or, "Hey, thanks for accepting the introduction request from Ray. I really appreciate it." Make this note all about the other person, not about you. And do not use the same old crap that so many people are using. It's an absolute, just, ridiculous way of doing it. I get words like this. "Oh, Teddy, I see we have 6 mutual connections. Teddy, we're in the same city. Teddy, we went to the same school. Teddy, this and that." Make it really meaningful. Don't make it lazy. And earlier I showed you a LinkedIn profile where someone said that their favorite Pantone color is XYZ. That would show the LinkedIn member that you looked at their LinkedIn profile if you reference that. So really get some worthwhile, meaningful information from your research of their profile before you send them an invite, and don't do it the lazy way. "Teddy, I see we have 6 mutual connections." That's just rude, in my opinion, and less successful. So while you are networking on LinkedIn and building your LinkedIn network, a couple things to think about. Under My Network, first of all, never manage, let me repeat, never manage your LinkedIn invitations from My Network. Manage your LinkedIn invitations from See All XXX, or I might say the word manage if you have none pending. Always go here. And the reason why you always go here is if you look back here, these 2 people sent me invites with no note. Now, if I come down here, you see Gene sent me an invite with a note, and I had the ability to reply. But Rebecca, I do not. But if you go over here to See All XXX, one second, I gotta close the door. because there's people coming in downstairs. But if you go over here to manage invitations, now I have the ability to message every single person who sent me an invite, whether they sent me a message or not. And this is important. This is, listen to these words. Never accept an invitation from someone that you don't know without first messaging them back and asking them who the heck are they and what the heck that they want. Now, what are my words here? I'll give it to show you to on Giselle. Giselle sent me an invite to connect. Now, first of all, I might go look at her profile. Remember, right click, open in a new tab, and make sure I understand a little bit about who she is, specialty coaching. She's all about, helping people grow their business. This is this typical, LinkedIn user here. Oh, I know who she is. This is one of that lady. And so I just do a little bit of research so I'm clear about who she is and what she's all about. And then I go back, I hit the message button, and you can see right here, she sent me an invite. This is one of those ladies. January 3rd, she sent me an invite and she never engaged. March 21, she sent me an invite and she never engaged. How do I know that? Because on January 3rd, I sent her the same message. Who the heck are you? What the heck do you want? How can I help you? I'm looking forward to your reply. March 21, the same thing. Sent me an invite and she did not tell me what she wanted. April 17th, just realized you sent me an invite in January, again in March. Okay, April 17th, she sent one. Now it's May. Now I got to respond back to her. Giselle, please tell me what I can do to help you. This is really, I'm getting lots of this lately. Never accept an invite until you've engaged with them and you understand a little bit more about who they are and what they want. And if she doesn't respond to this one and she sends me another one, I'm going to hit the X and I'm going to say, I do not know. But I'm just going to ask her very politely who she is. And then I'm just going to hit send. Every single person who sends you an invite, if you don't know who they are and what they want, you need to send them a message back. My message, I use a little tool called Text Expander, and his name is Julian. And my message to him says, thanks for the invitation. Did someone refer me to you or did you find me? I love to help people with LinkedIn. What can I do to help you? You need to reply. I use polite words and then I hit send. And the reason why I recommend you do that is because you create an opportunity just to be spammed if you don't first ask them who they are. And I don't want to make a connection and then have to unconnect with them. So don't make the connection until after they engage. And one other thing as well is that if I don't want to connect with Julian, I don't need to. Now I've set up a scenario where I can just hit the X, but here's what happened. This is a new change about 2 months ago. The fact that Julian has sent me an invite, according to LinkedIn, this is 4 hours ago. Let's go look at that. According to LinkedIn, now that he's sent me an invite, he is now a follower. Where's my followers? I got to go back up here. He is supposedly a follower. Oh, it's right here. 22,200. So I should see Julian, boom, there he is right there. Julian is now a follower. Let me repeat. The moment someone sends you an invite, they are also sending you a request to be a follower. Okay. April, I'm not connected with yet. She's a follower. But you can also see all of these people I'm not connected with. Anna. Okay. I'm not a connection yet. So Anna and Julian are in my invite list. There's Julian, go to see all 26, and there's Anna. So now they're a follower, which means they could see my content, but also the fact that I have engaged with him through messaging or engaged with her through messaging, they can very easily continue this conversation in messaging. Unfortunately, many don't, which is a pretty lazy way of using LinkedIn. Questions? Unmute yourself or use the chat, and let's go on to the next conversation. Managing your invites. This is important. Again, you want to, let me come back to the top. There are two people that you want to send a LinkedIn invite to. First and foremost, it's your target audience, the people who have a need or could have a need for what you could provide them. Second person you would likely want to send a LinkedIn invite to is their influencers, the people who are associated with your target audience, who may be able to introduce you to them. For me, I give you that model. My target audience is sales leaders, sales managers, VP of sales, regional sales managers, et cetera, et cetera. That's my target audience, what I refer to as my most important viewer. My influencers, the people who can introduce me to them, are sales professionals, local sales guys, in-house sales, field sales, account reps, customer service reps, et cetera, et cetera. The people who work for typically the sales leader. So I'm always looking for my sales leader. I will tell you that for the most part, they are not as active on LinkedIn as the sales professional. So I look to connect with sales professionals who are in large organizations. And I also look to get introduced and connect with sales leaders in those large organizations. And I'm very purposeful about that. I'm about 3 connections away from 15,000. I have been in the 14,000 some odd space for about 2 years now, which I am happy with. I do not need to connect with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, Giselle, Julian, or Keith on LinkedIn. So managing your LinkedIn invites, go back to see all 26. If I sent Giselle a message just now, right here it is. I just sent her that message today. She has 1 month to respond. If she does not respond in 1 month, then what I do about twice a week is I come down to the bottom and I look at that person. I sent them a message. Here's my message. Hi, Teddy, I found you with the help of Sales Navigator. So I failed to respond to her. When did she send me that message? She sent me a message on Thursday. So what I need to do is engage with her further. What can I do to help you? Because I don't want to connect with her unless she has a need for what I have to offer. And then, hang on, I'll get to the question in a minute. I need to move this out of the way. It's in the way. The little bar is in the way. I'm sorry. Now I can hit send. Now she has another week to respond. And same to Jason. 2 weeks ago, he sent me a message. If I go look at what I sent him, he messaged me. Nope, he never messaged me back. He sent me an invite with a request, and I responded back to him. And this past Thursday, I responded back to him again. Now, I want to see if I can move him to a discussion about LinkedIn. So I'm not going to hit the X so quick. So I sent that message to him this past Thursday, be a week ago tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow or Friday, I'll send him my next message back, basically telling him what to follow me. Dylan, 2 weeks ago. And he has not responded to me. So he sent me a message on an invite on April 26th. And why would a renewable energy company want to feature a LinkedIn strategist? He didn't respond to that. Thursday, he says, hey, Dylan, I'd be interested in learning how I can help your business and readers. He hasn't responded to that. So I'm going to go ahead and respond back with this is my shutdown invite. Excuse me, my shutdown message. And I say this, thanks for the response. Actually, I will show you what I do with that. I get rid of the thanks for the response because he never responded. Please follow me on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Quora. I basically, at this point, am telling him to go away. I hit the send button and I hit the X, because if he's not willing to engage with me on here, I'm not going to waste the time to connect with him. Let's see, I got a chat. Teddy had to step away. All right, Deborah. Sorry, I'll keep recording. So anyway, I go through my invites that I send out about once a week, usually on Thursday or Friday. And if they haven't responded and or there's no opportunity for a further conversation, then I basically reply back to them, invite them to follow me, and I hit the ignore button. Do not let these pile up for weeks. They just get ugly. Now, the sent invites, here's the ones you received, here's the ones you sent. Also, I recommend that you, on the sent invites, go to the bottom of the list once a week, see, the invites that you sent, and where I mispronounced your name. So, I sent that to her 3 months ago. She hasn't responded to me. So you know what I do? Wow, I want to connect with her. So I'll withdraw it. She hasn't done it. I withdraw it. It's too old. It's not going to happen. By the way, if you look at these, this is 3 steps. It's a pain in the butt. Don't let this get too big. Absolutely never let it get bigger than 250. But Ryan Rusing has not accepted my invite. I hit withdraw, withdraw, and then you got to hit the X. It's 3 clicks every single time. I do withdraw, withdraw, and then I have to hit the X. So if you let them pile up, it gets to be really, really ugly. Withdraw, withdraw, and hit the X. I typically don't let this go more than 2 months. And Barbara's a brand new person. I just met her the other day. So anyway, manage your sent invites, manage your received invites. Never accept an invitation that you haven't engaged with someone, or they haven't engaged with you, or you do not know them in some meaningful way. Here's another big one. Every time, let's see if this is one of them. Every single time you connect with someone that you want to do this, you want to immediately engage with them. Now I do that from here. If you get if someone accepts your invitation, you're going to see a number here, and above invitations, you're going to see Scott just accepted your invite. Now I look at that, and then, I look at that on a very deliberate time frame, usually the last part of the day. And what I do is, I'll then engage directly with Scott. Now this is important. Let me give you an example. So Justin just connected with me. Now Justin was on my show earlier today. Now, if Justin was highly relevant to me, what I am not going to do is send him a LinkedIn message. If Justin is highly relevant to my business, I'm actually going to look for a way to call him. That is the most powerful way to do that. Again, let me repeat. If Justin is highly relevant to me, then I'm going to look for a way to have a conversation with him. For me, my most important viewer, my target audience, I look for phone call. If I can't make a phone call, I look for a business email. If I can't do a business email, then I may do a LinkedIn message, or I may use my mobile app, my LinkedIn mobile app, and send them a video message. Now, I don't do that with everybody, but I may send him a video message thanking him. This is the whole purpose of this messaging, phone call, email, or LinkedIn message. You want to thank them for the connection. Then engage in any way that's relevant. At the very least, what you want to do is end with this. Justin, if there's ever a time where I can help you in any way, even with answering a question or giving you access to people I know who could help you, or an idea that I can help you with, whatever the words are, shrunk down in very small form, you want to make the conversation about Justin. Not about your business, not about your cool widget. Nobody wants you to do a sales pitch the moment you connect. This is called bonding and rapport. You build a connection and you create the opportunity for a conversation. And I did that with Laura just now. If you look right here, Laura sent me an invite to connect, told me her boss wanted her to connect with me. I said, let me know if I can help you. She says, I am a high D on the disc, so I apologize for being so direct. There's no worries. But, I've started to create a relationship with her. Even though it's very simple, I'll let her know that I'm here to help her in any way I can. Now, later on, I may contact her, or later on, I might send her and her boss a message and ask if there's any opportunity for me to talk with them about helping Laura be more successful using LinkedIn. Engage immediately with the people you connect with and start your bonding and rapport up front, so you can potentially open the door for more conversations. Unmute, use chat, ask me any questions. Let's go to the second. I'm right on schedule. Let's go to the second part of this second class. The second part of this conversation beyond networking is engagement. Now, here's what happens. People will build a LinkedIn profile, and they will think that having an absolutely beautiful LinkedIn profile is the most important thing they can do, and it's not. Then they'll build a huge LinkedIn network and think it's the most important thing they can do, and it's not. The most important thing they can do is build a brand. So have a nice looking profile, build the right LinkedIn network, but you build a brand so that you can then become trusted and respected as an authority based on your content. And listen to these words, most importantly, based on your engagement. So let's talk about different ways to engage and share content. First of all, you got to remember that your LinkedIn network is made up of a diverse group of people, and they are not all the same, and they don't want all of the same content. You may be connected with people who some like videos, some like memes or graphics, some might like simple images, some people might like simple stories, short posts. Some of your network might like documents or articles or third-party articles that you share on LinkedIn. Some of them might like, YouTube videos that you share. Some of them might like blog posts that you create. Some may want to see content on your company page, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You've got to give your very diverse LinkedIn network a plethora of diverse content. If every time you show up on LinkedIn, you show up with a blog post from your website, I promise you that will fail miserably. If every time you show up on LinkedIn, you're just posting content on your company page, I can promise you that will fail miserably. I know for a fact, I can show you a company. Here's a company right here that I've been tracking on LinkedIn with 96 followers. And every day, actually sometimes more than once a day, if I go to their post, you'll see, if I go to top, switch top to recent, they posted something a day ago and they posted something 2 days ago. Look at this content, just listed, no engagement. Coming soon. Is that the same one? Coming soon. It looks like it's the same place. Bellamede. No engagement. Sold. No engagement. I'm just going to go down here. No engagement. Okay, I found two people liked it. Who are the two people? Actually, only one person liked it, and it's the firm itself. Let's see if they do that on a regular basis. They probably do. Yeah, the firm itself is liking its own content. No one else cares. And the reason why this company page is following is because they are consistently sharing exactly the same type of content over and over and over again. They have not taken in consideration that they have a diverse, even though they only have 96 followers, they have not taken into consideration that their network is diverse and that their network wants different types of content. And this is absolutely failure. There's no reason, no value for this company to be sharing content on LinkedIn, because again, they're sharing the same content over and over again, and they're out there liking their own content. It's just I wonder why it says two. Looks like there's probably somebody who's blocked me, and I think I know who that is. So, because I've tried to school them on this. But think about that. It's not only from a company page, it's also your personal content. So give people diverse content. Here's the next thing that's absolutely critical. Give them what they want. Give them what they're seeking. Give them knowledge and ideas and perspectives. Show them that you're an authority by sharing content that's rich and beneficial. I call it true, transparent, relevant, useful, H for honest, and engaging, exciting, educational, entertaining. Doesn't make a difference, the exciting, educational, entertaining, informational, whatever, but it's always going to be transparent, no smoke and mirrors. It's got to be relevant to your target audience, something that they can get value from, useful, they can get value from it, honest, which means, don't talk bad about the other person. But if every time you go to share a piece of content and you post something, and before you hit that post button, you ask yourself this question: is this true, transparent, relevant, useful, honest, and engaging? That's another big piece. Here's the other huge piece of information that's critical. It's called the 90-10 rule. 90% of the content that you share on LinkedIn cannot be about you or your business. 90% of the time, it cannot be about you or your business at all. It needs to be highly relevant to your target audience, relevant to what you do for them, but not about you. Not about your widget, your products, your services, your great team, not about your growth of your company, your best new hire. And that's what everybody does. You've got to give them content that is focused on them, but not about you. And if you do that 90% of the time, they will be accepting of 10% of the time, one time out of 10, the content being about you, as long as it is always highly relevant and useful to them. Another thing too, there's nothing wrong with being a little personal on LinkedIn. There's nothing wrong with being a little personal, but you want to be very careful. I call it stay between the mustard and the mayonnaise. No politics, no religion, unless you're a politician or a minister. Okay, no, clickbait content that gets people to click on your content because you're trying to be, what's the word? You're being over the edge, and you're being really, there's a word for it, I can't remember, egregious, or you're being, really, again, over the edge and getting people to engage on content. You're trying to really spark them to respond, even though they're responding to content that's not meaningful and relevant. So give them what they want 90 times out of 10, and the other times you can give them a little bit about you, as long as it's relevant to them. Now, there's something else. If you find an article or a link or a website or a YouTube video or anything anywhere, and you want to share that, anytime you go to share a piece of content you find on the internet, when you share anything, you always tell your target audience why you are sharing it. What's the benefit to them? Why was it meaningful to you? What did you get out of it? How is this relevant to them? How is this relevant to your community? What did it make you think about? What do you think it might make them think about? Maybe you could have put a call to action in there. This is really was meaningful to me. What value can you get from this? Always tell your target audience why you're sharing any piece of content on LinkedIn, because otherwise it's like walking up to a stranger, dropping a piece of paper in their hand, and then running away. Tell them why. It creates the greatest value. Now let's look at the other side of this. It's one thing to be posting content on a regular basis that you can sustain, which means don't do more than you can do on a regular basis. Don't do too much. By the way, never post more than once a day. That's my rule. Never more than once a day. But the other side of this is to engage, to get into conversations. Now, if you're a graphic designer, you can go look for graphic content about graphic design. You can click on post. It's going to be one of these two. Nope, it's all the way over here. You can click on post, and you can look for posts that are about graphic design. You can look for posts that are connected, shared by your first level network if you want to. And there's nothing, so I got to go back and where to go, sort by, oh, I lost it. Author industry. Really? Wonder where that went to. I gotta go back. That button went away. Where I said posted by, first level, show results. Look, posted by went away. Oh, it's under all filters. Posted by, here we go. That is weird. This is broke. Post by. Oh, hit the X. Nope, it's absolutely broke. So I gotta go back. So I can say posted by on a particular date. I can say sort by from a member, look for a particular person, from a company, or from a specific industry if I want to. Look, that's broke too. Oh, there it is. It took a while to come up. But find content that's relevant to your target audience. And it might take a little bit more than just 2 words. And look for content that could be relevant to them. Read it quickly and decide what does it say and how could it be relevant to your target audience, useful to your target audience, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you think it could be relevant or useful, then engage on it. This is the best way to create a brand. You can create your own conversations by posting content, but it is often far more rewarding to become a part of someone else's conversation rather than you always trying to start the conversation, Teddy. Listen to that analogy there. Join other people's conversations is often far more successful than you always trying to start the conversation. But if you're going to get into this conversation with Kathy about something that she's talking about, or in this conversation with Michael about what he's talking about, and you see somewhere in here he has the words graphic design, make sure when you get into that conversation with him that you're not joining a conversation that is distracting to your target audience. Never join a conversation that you don't want to be a part of. Never join a conversation so you go, this is crazy. You just never do that. The best thing to do with that content is to simply scroll past it as quickly as you can so you don't give it any value. But when you find a piece of content that you can engage on and create value, provide value, add value, then comment. And let me repeat, comment. Walk as far away from the like button as you can. Let me repeat, walk away from the like button and all the little emoticons here. Walk away from it as much as you can, because you're going to really build your brand more with the comment than you are with like. And often you don't need to hit the share button, because just commenting will make it show up in your news feed for your network to see. Show you what I'm talking about. You see right here, you'll see share. Come on, give me a comment. I got Keenan loves this. So when Keenan hits the like button, it shows up in my news feed. But I can also see where Mario celebrated. He hit the like button. Sean likes it. A lot of likes. Let me find a comment. Give me a comment. Somebody give me a comment. Like, celebrate. Uh-oh, I don't see one comment. Be the first to comment. Be the first to comment. Oh my God, this is horrible. I wonder if something is broke here, because there we go. Teresa commented. And the fact that Teresa commented made two things happen. Number one, this piece of content showed up in my news feed for me to engage on. And for me also, number two, to see what Teresa had to offer. Now listen to these words. Never comment unless you're going to use at least 6 words. And often I would say more than 10. Because this is where you get the opportunity to shine. The more relevant and engaging your comment is on a particular post, the more your comment will show up at the top as the most relevant. There's 10 comments here, and Teresa's is the most relevant. And by default, most relevant shows up on the top. So if you really want to grow a brand, find content that is relevant to your target audience that other people have shared. Read it, consume it, understand it, and then comment in a meaningful way. If you do it in a meaningful way, at least 10 words, you have the opportunity to be the most relevant. If you look throughout all the content on a LinkedIn newsfeed, you'll discover typically, I've got to find another piece, typically that the people who comment with the most meaningful / number of words, William Atkinson, okay. Sean showed up on the top. Not sure what, oh wait, he commented on his own stuff. Well, he commented on William's stuff. Actually, that's what I saw. Sean commented on William's stuff, and there's only 2 comments, but Williams at the top. So anyway, you will discover that the comments that are 6, 8, 10 words more will often show up at the top as what's referred to as the most relevant content. And that could be you if you learn how to do that. Interesting, you scroll through here, it's really, for me, disturbing that I see very few comments. This has 6 comments, and Shannon's on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. So anyway, lots of ways to create a brand and grow your brand on LinkedIn. And sharing content is one way to do it. I think by far the most powerful way to do it is engaging on content that is relevant to you and your target audience. My last little tip in this conversation, hey Lisa, how you doing, is this: comment or engage directly. Now, a couple of ways you can do that. Let me show you our notifications. And I'm really disappointed that birthdays have gone away. But you know, you look down through here, you'll often see, unless you turn it off, and I hope you didn't, look, oh man, all these people engaging on my stuff. This is good stuff. 5 comments already. This is important to show you this then. So I've got 5 comments on a post that I made 2 hours ago. I want to know if people see this. It will fly in the face of everything you and others, it will speak more. Yeah, he's agreeing with me. Good to know. I think the choices are limited, don't include. Yeah, so I got to come back and engage with these folks, because anytime anyone touches your content, you've got to come back and engage with them further. Never leave a comment or a reply that someone dropped on your content. Never leave it unresponded to. Because the more you create a conversation with comments and replies, the more likely LinkedIn will show this content to someone else. So I've got to come back after this class and engage with both Craig and with Teresa, because I want them to know I cared enough to acknowledge and reply back to their comments to me. So that's the big one I had for you there. The other one is, if you go look at notifications, this is on engaging directly. Often you'll see NC Works. Look, NC Works comment on my post. I've got to come back and engage on all these. But here, look for this. Shane Stadler has been promoted to Chief Operating Officer at Prevention Strategies. Now, typically what most people are going to do, they're going to click this button and they're going to say, congratulations on promotion. I am not going to do that. Shane Stadler is important to me. Okay. So if he's important to me, what I'm going to do is look for his phone number or his business email address, and I'm going to engage with him directly. Directly engage with him in the most meaningful way possible. Everybody else is going to click that daggone button and they're going to say congratulations. I recommend that you make the conversation way more meaningful than that and way more personal, and go engage with them directly. Look for people who have promotions who are relevant to you. Look for activity that's relevant to you. Look for, and birthdays disappeared. I'm really disappointed the birthdays disappeared, because that was, for me, was a great way to engage people. Look, Carlos, and 4 other people got new positions. So click on that and go look and see what Carlos's job is. Look for Scott Whitaker's job. And you don't need to engage with everybody, but Mark shared a position as started a position as insurance professional. This is a client of mine. I don't know him yet. I've connected with him. I'm not going to hit say congratulations. I'm going to go to his profile, look for phone number or email address, and I'm going to call him and wish him all the best in his job. Why do I do that? Because it creates a greater opportunity for conversation. And it is a much more meaningful thing for me to use my words and my voice to engage with him than use the keystrokes off of the keyboard. Now, this may take more time, but it is far more meaningful to do that than what everybody else does. Engage directly. Oh, another way to engage directly too is I'm getting ready to go out of town. I'm going to make a trip to, I can't remember what city in Florida. It's an obscure city. Go look for your network that's in that city. Go look for who you know that are in that city and let them know you're visiting that city. And you can let them, hey, I'm going to be in your city on these days. And I'll only do this to people who are highly relevant to you, i.e. target audience, i.e. most important viewers. Let them know you're going to come into town. It's a great way to meet people in real life, post, for the most part, the pandemic. And it's a great way to build trust, respect, and some level of relationship. Build a profile. It's important. Now, be highly focused to your target audience. Build a network, highly focused to your target audience and your influencers. And by the way, also people that you can help, because when you help others, they're more likely to want to help you. And really, the magic, what I call the secret sauce, is in the conversations, in the engagement, in the content, in the information, in the direct conversations. That's where the magic is. And if I were in my office and not out and about, behind me, you would see a sign, and the sign says this, mostly for me to see when I'm in my camera. It all starts the conversation. It all starts the conversation. Any questions, thoughts, anything I can help anybody with?
That's great, Teddy. As I said in the comments, I think the questions will happen when I start digging into it and doing things. So that one-on-one follow-up session will be great then. Yeah.
So I will follow up with a link to the YouTube video for everybody who's on here and those who registered for this class. And then you, at your convenience, you can schedule the one-on-one call with me, and I'll help take you to the next level. So it's 4:58. I got 2 minutes. Any questions?
No, that's great. It's really good content.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Janine. So, Deborah, any questions? I know you had to step away for a minute.
Yeah, I just basically caught the tail end, but I know you're going to send the video. I think, like Janine said, once I get into it, because with me, it's a job search thing, right? So And I had lots of questions for you. So I'm going to go through the video and then schedule the one-to-one.
Good stuff.
Now, a free, by the way, you still do the monthly free seminar?
I still do. Yes, I still do the monthly free one, and that's way more succinct and tight. It's a one session program, but I do that, and I can answer questions during that as well. But once you know me and connected with me, you know how to message me and ask me any question.
Yes, and you're always great with responding. So, okay, yeah, just thank you. I mean, the little that I did catch was wonderful. I just, a million questions. I need to get into the application.
Yeah, I get it. So, all right, ladies, anything else before I leave?
Nope, all good. Thank you.
I have a date with a beer. I will talk to you another day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.